construction firm to handle an older building like this. Someone who
C360 is breaking down everything you need to know.
Students, staff, and alumni gathered to get some insight into an old building with a new life.
And one Milledgeville bakery is giving the community hope in a sweet way. Hello and welcome to GC360, where news comes full circle. I'm Ross Thompson.
And I'm Maddie Holtz. We bring you news from the Georgia College campus and across the Milledgeville community. Let's get right to our top story. Homecoming is officially over, but before the festivities ended, students and alumni came together to celebrate at Tent City. Lila McGibney has more on that story.
Tent City precedes Georgia College's women's and men's basketball games, as well as homecoming court announcements. Tent City is the official tailgating event for the homecoming games and offers a place for everyone celebrating to gather in a convenient location.
Hey, what's up? My name is Rachel. I'm an Alpha Gam. We're out here for Tent City for homecoming. I'm really hoping that our girls Reese and Bree win tonight.
Hey, I think Tent City is a really great opportunity to connect with other sororities and fraternities. Just like hang out, not on school time, play some cornhole. Beautiful day. It's great.
We're excited about everything that's happening, tailgating, and we're just having fun. We invite you to come out next year.
Hi, my name is Tracy Buss, and I'm just really excited for the new initiatives to be able to fellowship with some of the members that have been previous students at Georgia College and State University. And they seem to be having a really good time, touching base with some of the other members that were initiated through Kappa Eta.
Greek Life members are hoping for their nominations for homecoming court to win, but let's see who takes home the crown. After Tent City and the big game, Nikki Kuhn took home the homecoming queen title for Kappa Delta, with Madison Basler as her duchess. And AJ Summers now has the title of homecoming king for Alpha Tau Omega, with Teddy Kime as his duke. And that's it for this year's homecoming. Here's to a great next year. This is Lila McGibney for GC360.
To fill the Chief of Staff position, which is done through presidential appointment. That seat will be announced within the next couple of weeks. Also, the president pro tempore will be filled after senators are elected in the fall semester.
The president pro temp will step into the vice presidency if the vice president were unable to serve for any reason.
On Friday, students gathered at Centennial for the Golden 20s homecoming concert. Georgia College's own Pajama Party opened the concert and performed classic hits like Prince's When Doves Cry, along with original content for their fans. Pajama Party has played a 30-minute set. On their Instagram, they said that the quote, "Playing for Max and Lupe Fiasco was a dream come true," end quote.
Max also clearly came ready to bring the house down. Max had high energy throughout his performance and was ready to put on a show. Through his set, Max did flips, members of the band made special appearances, and Max constantly interacted with his audience. Max, however, could not remember the city name Milledgeville. Fans report that Max repeatedly kept referring to Milledgeville as, quote, Middle Ridge, end quote.
After continuously confusing the two, Max went on to say, quote, "I keep saying the city wrong, but it's Georgia College, it's okay," end quote.
During the homecoming concert, some fans got a little rowdy. One student threw a plastic ring and hit Lupe Fiasco on his left shoulder. Fiasco briefly paused the show as he was clearly irritated with some of the students in the crowd.
That ain't nice. Don't throw shit on stage.
Associate Director of the Wellness and Recreation Center, Drew Burton, intervened and reminded students that throwing things is not very nice. Although irritated, Lupe Fiasco did continue and finish his set. No other rings were thrown on the stage after the incident.
GC360's reporter Alec Dubois sat down with Max during a private meet and greet before the homecoming concert. Max talked with student media about his musical inspirations, his time on Broadway, and even how he first met Lupe Fiasco.
Just listening to at James and James Brown and all the soul stuff growing up, and then Justin Timberlake and NSYNC and all that stuff, of course, too. So just a little little baby mesh of those two, and never stopping. It's weird, it just never stops. I just love it. There's nothing that makes me feel more alive than performing in front of people with music that I know that I've really just invested myself into, and it's the most raw. It's hard for me. I've done the acting stuff for a long time, but it just doesn't translate the same. Like when someone comes up to me and says like, this is what Lights Down Low means to me, or that goes straight to my heart. Whereas if someone's like, I love drags, I'm like, that's cool.
Max also shared that he has new music coming out, and he said he was hoping to make new fans at Georgia College.
Milledgeville's mayor is giving students the opportunity to learn more about the city. Stay tuned and you'll learn how you can get involved with city government. And one Milledgeville bakery is giving hope to the community and giving back in a sweet way. We'll have these stories and more coming up on GC360.
Dad, they took over my bedroom. Come on, come on. Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. Dad! You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know, wherever you are.
When you look at the number of disasters in the U.S., chances are every area will deal with some kind of emergency in the next decade. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Milledgeville Mayor Mary Parham Copeland and the Milledgeville City Council are hoping to get more GC students involved in city government. One political science class joined in on Tuesday's City Council meeting to learn more. GC360 reporter Samuel Tucker has that story.
The Milledgeville City Council had some unusual spectators at its Tuesday meeting. Georgia College students from Cliff Wilkinson's political science class were on hand, and they even got the attention of Mayor Mary Parham Copeland.
I welcome you all to come sit in on the meetings because we're getting ready to start a junior council. We want to use some students from Georgia College as well.
The students and others in attendance witnessed some routine business in the election of Councilwoman Denise Shinholster as Mayor Pro Tem. The Mayor Pro Tem would take over if the mayor is unable to serve for some reason. Mayor Copeland said planning for the junior council will start next month.
It's a great way to get involved. It's a great way for you all as political science majors to stay abreast of your local government, what's happening, how do we come to votes, how do we look at budget requirements, we have the schedule to do this or that with, how we receive government funding and loans. So it's an excellent process for you guys to take part in.
There you have it. The mayor is inviting Georgia College students to participate. City Council meetings are held every Tuesday at 6:30 on the second floor of City Hall. Reporting for GC360, I'm Samuel Tucker.
On Friday, February 21st, Georgia College's historic Terrell Hall started a new chapter. University President Steve Dorman led a ribbon-cutting ceremony to honor the reopening of the building. The event took place during the week of homecoming. The building has been under renovation since the summer of 2018. Terrell Hall is one of the oldest buildings on campus and for many years was a women's dormitory. It will now mainly house the Department of Communication. The renovation cost roughly $13.3 million. Department Chair Dr. Mary Jean Land says the department is hoping move-in by March 16th.
Before the ribbon cutting on Friday, many gathered to witness the ceremonial groundbreaking for Georgia College's new science building. This will be the first new academic building built on campus since 1995, when the Arts and Sciences was constructed. The building will be located on the corner of Montgomery and Wilkinson Street and will cost a total of $22.1 million. The building is scheduled to be completed by spring of 2021.
Georgia College is known for innovative teaching and tackling tough social issues. GC360's Sophie Sheave went to the Sally Ellis Davis House to report on one example of how this is done.
The GC2Y Theater for Social Change class moved to the Sally Ellis Davis House to take on some tough issues: race, stress, guns, and abortion. The class is run by theater and dance chair Karen Berman.
Learning empathy, because when one stands in certain roles in other people's shoes, one can learn how it feels for someone else.
Each group of students wrote and performed a play about a pressing social issue.
Seeing like us, all of us, 19, 20, and 21 years old doing plays. We've been doing plays about abortion, plays about stress, gun laws and all that. And then so it's for us, it's a way to see the real world.
This play was on a social issue that is often difficult to confront.
It was about race and education and issues in the education system today that have to do with racism and institutionalized racism.
The play that we saw today was about an interaction taking place between a discriminatory teacher and his whole class, and specifically to African American students.
Dr. Berman spoke about the benefits of the course.
This class allows people to understand what other people are going through.
The location of the play is also very important.
This was, the home of somebody who fought very hard in the battle to get, proper education for black students in this county.
Sally Ellis Davis was a pioneer for being able to have education for everyone.
While Sally Ellis Davis was here in another century, that racism in schools is still ongoing.
It's important to have these conversations, and as Sally Ellis Davis used to say, keep reaching for the stars. For GC360, I'm Sophie Sheave.
Coming up, a story that is all about hope, literally. Hope's Creations is a new bakery located on North Columbia Street. From cookies to cupcakes, learn why this bakery is oh so sweet when we return.
Dad?
Just 1 minute, okay?
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Back to GC360, it's time for your sports update. I'm Herndon Lee. The early fall intramural season is coming to an end, which means it's time for the championships to start. The championships for dodgeball and basketball started last night, and here are some of your winners. Delta Sig won the men's championship for dodgeball. Omar and the Bambies took home the title in co-ed dodgeball. The men of BTO won the championship for basketball. And finally, the co-ed team of freeballing won the championship with no hesitation. Georgia College has also sent another team to intramurals to a state championship, but this time it was for basketball. This past weekend, the intramural team of the GC Ballers traveled to the University of Georgia to compete in the state championship. And in the end, it was once again Georgia College coming out on top and heading to nationals in Wichita, Kansas in April. Congratulations to the GC Ballers on winning state, and good luck in nationals. That's all today. That's all for today in sports. Let's toss it back over to Maddie at the desk.
We hope that you're ready for something sweet. Kristen Hope is an African-American entrepreneur who fought for her dream to own and run her own bakery here in Milledgeville. She's helping the community in the process, as GC360's reporter Tiara Richardson found out.
Kristen Hope is the proud co-founder of Hope's Creations Bakery, which reopened on the 28th of January. The shop serves all kinds of tasty sweets, from cupcakes to cookies and other savory treats. But this is more than a place that sells sweet treats. It's proof that one can strive for success and achieve even the wildest dream. Kristen Hope is largely self-taught, and she spoke to me about how she got inspired to become a baker.
Well, I think it's a generational thing. My grandma, she baked first, and so my mom baked, and I watched my mom bake, and so that's what started me to bake. A lot of trials and error and practicing. I watch a lot of YouTube videos. I'm on Pinterest a lot, and so just watching other successful bakers, and so I think that's what helped me perfect my craft.
Although she may be a successful business owner today, it wasn't always her.
Family that started a business and it wasn't successful, so I think that was our biggest fear in our family. So I know I went to my mom, aunts and uncles to ask, to give me a business loan, and everyone turned me down. My credit wasn't what it was supposed to be, and so the banks turned me down. And so I already know what God had already promised me, so I was like, I'm not gonna give up. And so one day my uncle called me, he was like, hey, I'm gonna help you, I'm gonna give you $5,000, and this is what's gonna get you started. And so it was just amazing how he believed so much in me and my dreams that he would invest into me. And so that $5,000 got me to where I am now.
She is now giving back to the community, even hiring people with disabilities or having hard times in life.
We also hire people with special needs, and I know that's pretty much one of the clauses for every state. Don't discriminate against people with disabilities, but we do hire people with special needs, and our doors are definitely open, for people with disabilities.
It's something that I've always wanted to do as well, so working up under Miss Hope and her husband is a great opportunity for me as well.
Now that her business is thriving, she hopes that it will inspire others to keep striving for their hopes and dreams.
Until you try. You only have one life to live. Have faith, and I take risk, and so if you are a business person and you have that entrepreneurial mind, nothing should stop you.
For GC360, this is Tiara Richardson.
Do you think there's nothing to do in Millie? Did you know that peacocks were a favorite of famed Southern writer Flannery O'Connor? GC360 reporter Ana Paula Sanchez will be taking us to Andalusia, her country home, after the break.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly.
Lights out.
And put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
Anytime they're playing music downstairs, it's loud. I go downstairs, see what they're doing, see what music they're doing, see what they're dancing to. I go play piano downstairs, they come get involved. Leah has a drum set beside it, banging that. Any music, that's what they do.
I'm Jenny Garth.
And as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. This is unacceptable and something Feeding America is working to solve. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States, including yours. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Welcome back to your Milledgeville weather forecast. It's that time of the year again when you dress for the cold in the morning but are not prepared for the heat or humidity in the afternoon. That might be something annoying we have to deal with here, but let's be thankful we aren't having to deal with the weather in the Midwest or the Northeast. People in these parts of the country are experiencing Winter Storm Odell, dealing with gusty winds and snowfall. South Dakota got the most snow, 31 inches from this winter storm. Thinking about that makes our never-ending rain sound not so bad. And the good news is that we will definitely not be seeing any winter storms like that here anytime soon. And I have a weekend forecast that you'll like. Friday will be mostly sunny and a little chilly. Temperatures will range from a high of 58 degrees and a low of 36. Humidity will be at 51%, and the best part is that the chance of rain is 0%. Saturday will be mostly sunny again, and temperatures will drop below what we had for Friday. The high will be 55 degrees and the low will be 33 degrees. Humidity will be a tad bit higher at 54%, but good news again, no rain. Sunday is going to be partly cloudy and warmer than the rest of the weekend. The high for Sunday will be 62 degrees and the low will be 41 degrees. Humidity rises again to 57%, and unfortunately the chance of rain changes to 10%. That's it for the weekend forecast. Make sure you take advantage of the almost rain-free weekend and get outside. That's all for weather. Let's toss it back to Maddie at the desk.
Along with homecoming results, the Student Government Association announced the incoming executive board after the men's basketball game this past Saturday. GC360's Brick Nelson has the details, starting with the vice presidential race, the only one that had more than one candidate.
The vice presidential race ended with Samantha Cervantes gaining more votes than Timberly Spikes. This was the only contested race on the ballot.
I worked really hard with campaigning. A lot of my friends helped out, and working with the president-elect and the secretary-elect really closely helped to go and talk to fraternities and sororities and all of the different organizations, a lot of different organizations on campus to explain why we wanted to be representing them in SGA.
Cervantes feels confident in being prepared to lead the Senate next school year.
I've seen Senate from exec side and from the Senate side, so I really feel like this has prepared me to take on a new leadership role and be able to lead the Senate.
Although losing the race for vice president, Timberly Spikes has not let this slow her down.
The election has not took any fire out of me, and I think that is one thing that in life I'm not going to let, you're going to face every type of obstacle that comes in your way, and I feel like I wouldn't be me if I let one setback be like, all right, I gotta stop.
Although running unopposed, President-elect Nathan Graham is honored to take the role.
I ran for SGA president because it's a position that's needed on campus to fight for the students. Not many students know a lot of things that go around here, and I can use my information and my problem-solving skills to help other people and to make their college experience better.
Graham plans to bring changes, not just to the student body, but to campus as a whole.
A lot of students don't have access to those internships as they cannot afford to go do one, because a lot of internships, especially in the STEM field, and it's starting to get better in the political areas, but in some business internships, they're unpaid.
The newly elected secretary is Maggie Owens, and the newly elected treasurer is Max Harley. Both of these candidates ran unopposed. All newly elected candidates will be sworn in during the summer of 2020. For GC360, I'm Brick Nelson.
SGA still has to fill the Chief of Staff position, which is done through presidential appointment. That seat will be announced within the next couple of weeks. The Call Me Mr. program at Georgia College aims to train people of diverse backgrounds to become teachers. The idea is based on a simple proposition. If children have teachers who look like them, they'll gain confidence and will become better educated. We apologize for the technical difficulties. The Call Me Mr. program at Georgia College aims to train people of diverse backgrounds to become teachers. The idea is based on a simple proposition. If children have teachers who look like them, they'll gain confidence and will be better educated. Dr. Emmanuel Little, a Georgia College graduate himself, runs the program. Currently, there are 4 Misters slated to graduate this year. In the coming weeks, GC360 will be profiling the Misters. We'll start from comments from the Misters about Dr. Little. Tune in next week, Tuesday, to hear from Dr. Little in a little interview, and come back Thursday to see the first profile in our new series, Meet a Mr. series.
Andalusia was once the home to Milledgeville author Flannery O'Connor. It's a place that inspired much of her writings. The historic farm is now a tourist attraction, and GC360 reporter Ana Paula Sanchez gives us an in-depth look in this week's Nothing to Do in Milledgeville segment.
Hi, and welcome back to GC360's There's Nothing to Do in Milledgeville, but wait, there is. Today we're going to explore Andalusia, the home of Flannery O'Connor. Come along. Milledgeville is a city full of rich history. The city is a polished blend of pre-Civil War history paired with the youthful vibrancy of a bustling college town. In the midst of this beautiful city is Andalusia, the home of Flannery O'Connor. Following a diagnosis of lupus in 1951, O'Connor moved to Andalusia to live under the care of her mother. During her 13 years at Andalusia, O'Connor completed the bulk of her literary work, as the farm's environment influenced many of the settings of her writings.
I think Andalusia itself is a great place to visit because, one, it's a historical home. So you're getting that sense of time period and place. But then you also have the person who lived here, Flannery O'Connor, who's a very famous Southern author. So we have history, we have literature, and we tie these together in our tours, and you really are able to put yourself in the place where she lived at the time, and it's really a cool experience.
Today, Andalusia serves as a museum whose mission is to care for, collect, interpret, and exhibit items that illustrated the history of the site during the time which Flannery O'Connor lived on the property. Andalusia is open Tuesday to Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and on Sunday from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., with all tours starting on the hour and the last one beginning at 4 p.m. So if you're ever wondering, what is there to do in Milledgeville? Just think of what you can learn from an iconic writer. From GC360, I'm Ana Paula Sanchez.
In 2019, Andalusia was listed as a distinctive destination by the National Trust for Historic Preservation. Andalusia is free for all Georgia College students to visit. Our segment, Nothing to Do in Milledgeville, was actually thought of by GC360's own Ana Paula Sanchez. Ana Paula, what was your favorite part of going to Andalusia for this segment?
I think a really cool part about it is that the curator was there and she was able to tell us about Flannery O'Connor herself, all the artifacts that they have at the house, some of her clothes, some of her writing, and she told us a really cool story about how Flannery O'Connor sold one of her stories. She gave the rights to so they could do a show on one of her stories. They did change the ending, which she wasn't a big fan of, but she was able to get some money from it, and with that she bought a refrigerator for her family, and that refrigerator is still there in the house. So I think that was a really cool opportunity to see that. You see the history, the literature, and it's all embodied in this beautiful home.
Wow.
Yeah. I hope that refrigerator's running.
Yeah, for sure.
What's been your favorite Nothing to Do in Milledgeville segment so far?
We've done a lot. I think it's been a lot of fun, but for sure Andalusia's been my favorite.
That's all today for GC360. I'm Ross Thompson.
I'm Ana Paula Sanchez.
And I'm Maddie Holtz. Join us Tuesday for our next show. Our political panel will be back to talk about Super Tuesday. You won't want to miss that. When we're not on air, we keep you up to date on our social media pages. Facebook.com/GC360, at GC360 News on Twitter and Instagram, and on our YouTube page, YouTube.com/GC360 News.
Always available to you, GC360, where news comes full circle.